You cancel plans and feel relieved, not guilty. You'd rather eat lunch alone than sit through small talk. You go quiet in a room full of people, not because you're sad, but because your mind is somewhere else. Somewhere deeper. If that sounds like you, or stay. Because what feels like a personality trait is actually your brain working differently than most. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. It's 9 p.m. Everyone else is texting, scrolling, replying to group chats. You've muted your phone. You're sitting in silence, maybe with a cup of tea going cold beside you. No one's talking to you. And for the first time all day, you feel like yourself again. Earlier, someone asked, "Are you okay?" You seemed distant. You smiled, said you were fine. But inside, you were thinking, "I'm not distant. I'm just finally home, inside my own head." If you've lived this moment more times than you can count, your brain isn't broken. It's wired for something most people never slow down enough to understand. Here's what's actually happening. Most brains are wired for external stimulation. Noise, people, movement, that's where they recharge. But some brains run on a different circuit. Psychologists call it high internal processing. It means your mind generates so much activity on its own, thoughts, questions, emotions, imagined conversations, that outside noise doesn't add energy. It drains it. When you're around people, your brain is doing two jobs at once, managing the conversation and processing everything underneath it, tone, meaning, emotion, subtext. That's exhausting. Not because you dislike people, but because your brain never turns off the analysis. Alone, that second job disappears. Your mind finally gets to finish its own sentences. That's not antisocial. That's neurological efficiency. Here's the part that stings a little. You've probably spent years thinking something was wrong with you. That you should enjoy parties more, talk more, need people more. So you forced it, smiled through the noise, came home more tired than before you left. But needing solitude isn't a flaw in your personality. It's your nervous system asking for space to think. The people who understand this about themselves stop apologizing for leaving early. They stop feeling guilty for silence. They start protecting their alone time, like it's oxygen. Because it is. Let's look at the 5 things, see how many are you. 1. Walking alone, with no destination. Not for exercise. For thinking. Your best ideas, your clearest emotions, they show up mid-walk, not mid-conversation. 2. Eating meals in silence. Not because you're avoiding people, because chewing through small talk feels like static over a signal you're trying to hear. 3. Losing hours in one deep focus, writing, art, research, fixing something. Time disappears. That's not distraction. That's flow, and it only opens up when no one's watching. 4. Replaying conversations after they're over. Analyzing what was said, what was meant, what you should have said. Exhausting, but it means you feel things at a depth most people skip past. 5. Preferring one deep conversation over 10 small ones. Group chats feel like noise. But one real conversation, one real connection, that can fill you for days. If 3 or more of these felt like looking in a mirror, your brain isn't wired to escape people. It's wired to process life more deeply than most. Here's the twist. The world calls this introverted. Sometimes even antisocial. But research on high-processing minds tells a different story. People who need solitude often have stronger emotional intelligence, not weaker. They notice what others miss. They remember what others forget. They care in ways that are quiet, but deep. The world rewards loud energy, but it rarely rewards the quiet processing that comes before every good idea, every real insight, every honest emotion. You were never antisocial. You were just ahead of the noise, working something out that everyone else was too busy talking to notice. So if you love doing these things alone, don't apologize for it anymore. That silence you're drawn to, it's not empty. It's where your mind does its best, most honest work. The next time someone asks why you'd rather be alone, you don't have to explain it. You just have to trust it. Because some people think best in a room full of noise. And you think best in the quiet you finally stopped feeling guilty about. If this described you more than you expected, you already know what to do next. Sit in that silence and listen to what your mind's been trying to tell you all along.